Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Glad to have you joining us. Yeah, we're a minute or two late. We apologize for that. We want to thank the makers of Facebook for changing their live streaming parameters at the last minute and not notifying everyone. But we made it through. We want to thank Nathan Hale for our director for figuring everything out on the last minute so we can bring you this show live without a net, as we do every morning at 10 a.m. when HCC is in session. We've got your HCC news and information. I'm Todd Duplantis. A couple of special guests coming up. Before we get to them, Frank Cooper standing by at his house. Frank, good morning to you.
Good morning, Todd. How you guys doing today, man? It's great to be here.
It's good to see you filling in for Brittany. Of course, you're here with us every Tuesday and Friday, but Brittany is out today because she took an early vacation. So her winter break has already started. We won't see her till next year.
Yeah, I mean, those are big shoes to fill, so I'm gonna do my best. I don't have the spunkiness that Brittany has, but I try to bring with my wittiness and my sports knowledge instead.
That's right. So we're going to talk a little sports later on, but first we want to remind everyone to watch us and follow us in social media. I know you're watching on Facebook now. Make sure you jump on over to our YouTube channel, Houston Community College. Subscribe to that channel and get notifications like this when shows are posted. All right, Frank, we're going to check in with you in a little while. Stand by if you would. We've got a couple of special guests this morning. Kimberly Cade is joining us. She is the marketing program coordinator from the Business Center of Excellence. Good morning to you. If we can get you to turn on your microphone there, Kimberly. There we go. Well, there we go.
There we go. Good morning, and thank you, Todd. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you this morning.
We want to talk with you in a little while with one of our favorite subjects, marketing. We'll be back with you shortly and hear more about that. But first, I want to check in with Dr. Nithy Sevanthinathan. And Nithy is the director of the HCC International Student Services. Good morning to you, Nithy.
Hey, Todd. Good morning. How are you?
We are doing great. Good to be on the air finally. I know we were a few minutes late. Glad you're happy for you standing by. Tell us, we want to talk to you about our international students, particularly what they're going to be up to during the break, how they've been handling COVID. But I know for recruitment, you've been doing some recent virtual open houses for attracting students from various countries. Maybe you can tell us about that.
Oh, yes, Todd. Remember, in the virtual world, anything is possible. It's very interesting where our students are studying here in Houston, somewhere in the United States, as well as some in their home country. We thought this would be a great time to host a virtual open house. So we hosted 5 before the Thanksgiving break, 1 in Asia, 1 in Latin America, 1 in Africa, 1 in Middle East, and 1 in Europe. So basically what we wanted to them to know that, despite we think the world is going through a pandemic, the world is still awake. So we want to make sure they can reach out to us and ask us any questions related to the great institution that we work for. Houston Community College is the leading institution that hosts the largest number of international students across all community colleges in the country. We want to ensure that, primarily to ensure that they have access to us. That's what the open house is all about, to make sure that they can ask us any questions, any related to the application, any support service, the academic programs, who can they connect, how Houston looks like. So we are wild, we are awake. It's a great city, a global city, to ensure they're welcome. Despite whatever the COVID is, we still want our students to come and shape their dreams at Houston Community College.
I imagine it's got to be a challenge, though, when you're an international student and you're stuck over here during a pandemic, contacting your home, worrying about your friends and family back at home, but also keeping up with your studies. That's got to be an incredible task our students face.
Absolutely, Todd. Through this COVID, we learned that sometimes the biggest challenge is we feel we are learning virtually, but many a times we feel we are in the dark. And that's one of the most important things, is to make sure that they have access to us. We have a Zoom lobby that opens from 8 to 6:30 Monday to Thursday, 8 to 5 on Friday. Not only that, we partnered with our Department of Counseling to ensure that they can talk to someone throughout this journey. It's very, very important, not only academically, mentally and physically, also they need to be engaged outside the classroom. That's a very important component. So we also engage our students in multiple student programming. We partnered with our student activity coordinators. We have our own program coordinator to ensure all our international students are engaged throughout this academic year, because you can only do academic mentally, but you also have to do physically. You know that very well, Todd. You're a great runner. You need that balance to ensure you are active physically and mentally. You can't just be on the screen throughout the day. That's not going to help the student at all.
Absolutely. I know one thing, students have had a lot of questions, both our domestic and international students. Are you guys, have you been experiencing a lot of influx in questions? And have you been using that virtual lobby to reach your students as well?
Absolutely. That's been a greatest, I also engage myself in social media. Many a times the same questions comes from our student. Is your office open? Yes, we are open. We are open 8 to 6, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 5 on Friday. I know even over the holidays, we're going to open 9 to 1. I know once the holiday starts coming this Friday, we are still open through a community HCC Zoom lobby. And then we will open long hours when the peak registration starts in spring semester. I want every international student knows we are here to be your steward. We are here to be part of your journey here to ensure we can engage you and help you to reach where you want to go and achieve your dream at Houston Community College.
Nithy, are we still having students that are going to be arriving in the U.S. next semester to attend HCC? Is that, have the restrictions been lifted off of that? How is that working right now?
Todd, as of this morning, we have not received an official guidance from the Department of Homeland Security. What will be the spring 2021 guidance? I'm hearing in the media conversations, it's going to be the same thing. So all those students who are here in Houston, who are returning back for spring, they're able to take any classes as part of their degree pathway. Those who are coming from abroad, they have to go through certain process first, because the COVID, the pandemic is still live. It's still not over yet. I want to remind our families, our students, the pandemic is not over yet. It's not only in Houston, not only in the United States, but it's still around the world. So we want to make sure they follow each country's protocol. I know many of the US consulates have not opened their service fully yet. So I really want to make sure our borders are open, but depending on the flight they are boarding, the country they are departing, they have to ensure that protocols are followed before they enter our borders. It's very important because It's a very stressful time to go through this journey, especially at this time, because you never know. Said I'm flying from Malaysia and then the flight stops over, just say in another country in Asia, another country in Middle East or Europe. They might have a lot of restrictions. So that's what we want to check. We encourage our students to check. This is what we had the conversations in our open house to make sure they check each point. Because once they are stuck, it is a country rules that they have to follow. So we need to be very mindful of this journey. I really hope that we're going to pass this pandemic in spring semester. And hopefully the summer will be really like a great summer for us to celebrate.
Boy, aren't we all hoping that. Nithy, when you're speaking with students overseas and their parents, what has been their impression of what's happening here in the United States, particularly in Houston, with the COVID situation? What are they hearing and what are they telling you? Are they concerned? Are they thinking it's better here? What has been the word you're hearing?
Well, Todd, that's a very important question you're asking, Todd. Remember, though, the pandemic's affected not only us, but people around the world. Every family worries about their children's travel. Every family worries about what is going to happen to their children when they travel. So we encourage each and every family with this question is to check with their country's own protocol, what is their guidance in terms of making travel plans. Because even they come here, the whole environment will be, you'll be doing virtual learning. So we want them to make sure that they understand that aspect of it, because many of our students who stayed back from spring 2020, they stayed back. Very few of our students left to home country. They know they're taking a huge risk of doing that. We also played out a very important support for them. Those students who are coming, who are enrolled with HCC, they have to make sure they have medical insurance. We worked out with the office so they don't have to buy the insurance if they are in their home country, because they can follow, because many part of the world, the insurance may be, the medical coverage could be free for them. So we really want to make sure they understand all these protocols before they arrive to Houston. As we know, Houston is a global city, a very welcoming city. Despite all of that, nobody is immune from a medical condition. So we want to make sure they take that safety as their primary point at this time, as they make the transition into spring. Hopefully in summer, we will be back to new normal. That's what we all are hoping for. That's what we are expecting our students to know as well.
We're talking with Nithy Sevanthinathan, our director of our International Student Services. Nithy, one final question. You guys have a bit of a celebration coming up. You usually do them in person at the end of the year, but this year you're doing a celebration for your international students virtually.
Correct. We're doing it today from 11 to 12. We want to celebrate. Despite virtually, we can do many wonders. That's what we are doing today in this call. And we want to make sure that now the semester ended. We ask our students to share musics and songs from their home country. Let's play it out, let's dance, let's sing, let's celebrate. Even in this moment, if we don't take that, it's going to be really hard on our mentally. So we wanted to make sure we connect with our students, engage them, and make sure they know that it's a mutual journey. Not only you are going through, we're also going through the same moment to learn to balance this. That's what is going to happen today. It's a virtual party to engage all our international students. Hey, come and join us, sing, play, have fun as we prepare for the 2021. Happy New Year.
Absolutely. And for those of you wanting to attend, the end of the year virtual party is 11 a.m. noon today, December the 15th. And you can join the International Student Services. We'll have a link in the social media post for the event. Nithy, thanks for joining us. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Todd. Happy holidays to all your team members, and to Kimberly. Have a great one and have a beautiful, happy New Year 2021. We look forward for the pandemic to pass, and we will see face to face for more things ahead of us.
That sounds great. Thanks, Nithy. We'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
All right, moving on to Kimberly Cade. Kimberly, we're going to be talking about marketing, and I have a little bit of marketing in my background, but you guys specify in degrees and certificates. So let me ask you this. If someone's looking to just say, test out the waters for marketing, if it's something they'd like as a career, is there a short-term certification they can get and possibly start working and then build on to higher education as they're working?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I always welcome an opportunity to talk about our marketing program here at Houston Community College. We do have a way that a student who has an interest, maybe they know a little bit about marketing, they're not quite sure what the field is all about, and they're interested. We offer 3 certificates currently and 2 degrees that a student could pursue here at Houston Community College. We have what we call our level 1 certificate. One is in marketing for students who are interested in going into maybe retailing or sales or something like that. And they're just getting the basic skills that they need to enter the field. We also have one where the students can narrowly define the direction they want to go, and that is into retailing. If they know, or in some cases, we have students who are currently working in retailing, and so they want to know a little bit more about it and make themselves more marketable within their organization, maybe to move up, get a promotion, explore other opportunities. So we have that vehicle as well. And we also have what we call the social enterprise certificate. And that's generally pursued by students who are interested in the technology aspect of marketing. And they want to add more value to products and services using their experience in technology and helping a company brand their product for consumers. Now, the certificates are 1 year in length. A student who's interested can complete this program in just 2 semesters. So that's the opportunity that we give students who are interested, who maybe have just exploring the idea of it and aren't quite sure what they want to do.
For, you think marketing and people think, well, ad agency, I'm going to go to work for an ad agency. That's what I want to do. I'm going to be like the ad guys, the TV show that was set in the 60s, but that's how I want to live life. And that's how it's going to be. But reality is, you talked retail, you talk brand management, promoting retail and things along those lines. Students could wind up working in a number of avenues. Maybe you can talk about some of the employment opportunities outside of an ad agency. That's always wonderful, but some of the opportunities that are available.
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. First of all, let me just try to put a framework around this as far as what marketing is. For people, who are watching and aren't quite sure. In layman's terms, I guess the best way to explain it, and of course, Todd, you know this, you worked in the field, is basically marketing is making a product or service so attractive to the target or the audience in the marketplace that they're going to want to know more about the product, and you're making them willing to explore the options that you're giving them with your particular product or service. So that could involve advertising, as you mentioned, but some of the really high demand career opportunities that are out there right now can be, as we mentioned, in sales, becoming a sales representative and customer service. We have a lot of inquiries that come in from employers for people who they're looking for digital marketers, media specialists. They want market research assistants, and maybe even social media marketers. Now, the certificate can get a person ready for some of those positions, but some students may be interested in pursuing something a little bit more in-depth, in which we offer 2 of our marketing AAS or Associate in Applied Sciences degrees. We offer one in marketing, and for students who are just looking to do general marketing. And then we have one that we offer in innovation and enterprise. And these are, again, 4-semester, 2-year programs.
I know from my career, I find that a lot of the companies and organizations and institutions I work for, including HCC, we had in-house marketing, but we also used an ad agency to assist. Sure. However, in these times, when times are tough, many companies are trimming their budgets, and usually a lot of times marketing's first. Are your students finding it more difficult to find jobs now, or are the jobs still out there, just not in abundance like they were before COVID?
Well, to tell you the truth, we have an excellent career services group here at HCC that actually assist our students in finding employment upon graduation or employment while they're currently attending college. Because if they're like I was when I was in college, I worked while I was in school. So what COVID has done, actually, Todd, is created different opportunities. Yeah. Whereas we have fewer people who are actually going into retail establishments, many of us, like you and I, are working from home. Those opportunities still exist, because what happened with COVID is it caused us to take a look at new ways in marketing of providing our products and services to customers. So I don't have to tell you about the explosion of online shopping. And so part of that is that our marketers will have to, again, go out to the consumers, making them aware of the products, informing them of the attributes and benefits of the products, the price, the 4 Ps and 6 now, as we call them, Ps, that you're aware of, Todd, as well. And this whole consumer economy that exists online that didn't exist just a few years ago, we're just scratching the surface of that. We're just starting to create some of these opportunities. So I wouldn't say that they have diminished, they have shifted.
Wow. And I imagine, we were approaching this before COVID, that I imagine social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of these avenues have really opened up many new opportunities that weren't there 10 years ago, or especially 20 years ago. And with COVID, I imagine those opportunities have gone up as well.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And what some students are starting to realize are things that they're very familiar with, the various types of social media that you mentioned, the Instagram, the Facebook, that companies, especially those business owners who, say, for instance, have been out in the workplace for a number of years, maybe aren't as familiar with that technology as some of our students are. So they are actually looking for people who are comfortable in that social media environment to help them promote their companies, help them promote their products to a brand new audience of consumers who primarily get their information not from television and radio and magazines like our generation maybe did, but get primarily most of their information from social media.
You know, it's a new world we're living in, and it seems like things change on a daily basis. And a lot of industries may have lost a lot of jobs, but we're always going to need to sell products. You know, look what's happened online. So marketing, I would imagine, is always, even though they're trimming the budgets, there's always a way to use it.
Always a way to use it. And so what we're looking for, again, are individuals who have an interest in doing that, who maybe are just curious about marketing and coming in, taking a look, as going onto our website and taking a look at the variety of classes that we offer. There may be classes that they have already taken and that they're interested in pursuing this particular avenue now. So advertising classes, market research, retailing, sales, consumer behavior, or just some of the courses that a student would experience if they're pursuing that particular degree. So we're looking for students who are energetic, dynamic, who are interested in going into a field, like I said, that is changing right now, and that they can offer their expertise.
Kimberly, Cade, we appreciate you joining us this morning and updating us on the marketing program at HCC. Always good to talk to you. Stay safe.
Thank you so much. And registration is open, students, so go in and register.
Absolutely. And if you'd
Thank
like
you so
to learn,
much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Kimberly. Happy holidays to you. If you're watching and you're just interested in the marketing program, we're going to put the link in the social media post where you can find it and explore the program. And as Kimberly mentioned, registration's underway. You need to register early, and hccs.edu/now is where you can go. We'll talk to you soon, Kimberly. Thank you.
Thank you again.
All right, Frank Cooper is joining us from his home. And before we get to a little sports talk, we've got some things to let people know about. Frank, we're about to close things down for many of us for the next couple of weeks. But there's some things that you want to stay away during the holidays. And right now, Talent Engagement's addressing those with some website information.
Absolutely. So belonging and awareness resources during the winter break. So it's not always such a happy time for some folks. So talent engagements remind faculty and staff about resources available during this time off, like drug and alcohol prevention, employee assistance program, sense of belonging and connectiveness webinar, and COVID essential resources for faculty and staff. I don't have the information, like the contact information for that. Do you Todd?
Yeah, you need to check your email and website for the links to all of the programs that they're asking you to take a look at. Everything drug and alcohol, employee assistance, which is the EAP. You know, and it's a sense of belonging and connectedness, something we all need to have during this pandemic when we're all working virtually. So check your emails and for a website link, and you can find out more information on this. Okay, one thing students are needing right now, Frank, are tutors, and the Academic Success Center tutors are available.
Absolutely. You guys need help in math, science, any major courses at HCC. Go to the link to our post after the show. We can help you with all different types of subjects and matters at hand. So check out the link after the show.
I want to skip on down and talk about registration for next semester because it's important that you register for next semester. And right now, we've got a promotion going on to all of our students who are going to school right now, attending HCC, but you haven't yet enrolled. Do so today. Do it before January 8th, because if you register before January 8th, you may win some HCC swag, bookstore gift cards, and even an iPad. All of those are up for grabs. Visit our virtual lobby for enrollment, advising, and payment help. But you can enroll today at hccs.edu/now. And Frank, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty about what's going on next semester, but I can tell you one way or another, we're having classes and we have two options available for online learning.
Absolutely. So for right now, we have online anytime, which means that just like it sounds, you can take classes online at any time based on your schedule and your availability. And the option two, we have online on the schedule, take classes at a scheduled time. You never have to come to campus, but you have to log in at a particular time that you do select. So those are the two main options right now that we have going on if you're trying to enroll for January 8th.
Yeah, so we are watching CDC guidelines and the conditions in Harris County as far as the COVID cases. The other options, we have a flex campus option and lab-based courses. Keep in mind, if you're going to be going to a campus, classes are very small to follow CDC guidelines. You will need to enroll. We'll have a lot more of these classes, but to get the time you want to enroll early. So enroll today, get the class you need, and make sure you're all set for next semester. If you're worried about financial aid, well, guess what? Our financial aid department is taking appointments, right? You can make an appointment ahead of time, and you can meet with somebody face-to-face, or anytime, of course, you can meet with them online. For more information, you can contact them at hccs.edu/finaidcontact. Okay, Frank, big weekend last weekend with football, a lot going on. And hey, you know, college basketball starts, but I don't know what it is for U of H. We can't seem to get a team that is healthy enough to play them. You know, they canceled about more than 6 games in football, and now they're already canceling basketball games. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why the NCAA can't model what the NBA did and do a basketball bubble. Like, have all the U of H's conference teams playing in the same bubble. Because, like, the one thing about basketball is we're going to winter break. So you can get a lot of games out of the way during the winter break because kids don't have to go to school. So why not do a bubble for 3 weeks, get that on the way, and save all the heartache and pain of canceling games and losing money for the conference.
It's crazy, you know. I mean, they were supposed to, U of H, the Cougars, they were, you know, they didn't play last week, but they went up in the rankings. So that's working for them at least, but they're a great team. They're very excited, but they need to get on the court to play some basketball to keep that ranking, because you're not just going to keep going up in the rankings by default.
Well, unless you're Ohio State, you play 4 games and you stay in the top.
Yeah. And then you can be some teams where you can be beaten by a team and they can have a better record, but they'll still be ranked below you, you know, because they're not in a Power 5. But that's our beef we have with the NCAA football. Okay, Frank. So the Texans played last weekend. How was that game?
Ooh, I think you called it.
Yeah.
You said a blowout. I didn't think it would be that bad. Like, Mitch Trubisky had an all-world game, and this is a guy who was fighting for his starting quarterback life.
Yeah.
And he added to his resume, oh, you want to bench me? I put up 320 yards and 3 touchdowns. Think twice before benching me.
Exactly. And he was drafted ahead of Deshaun, and by far Deshaun's a more prolific player than he could ever want to be. But hey, you know, I was in the Dallas, Fort Worth area over the weekend, and I was watching one of the newscasts on Saturday night, and they were talking about how unbearable it is to watch the Cowboys. They were like, are they even worth watching? It's very unusual. You're from that area, and it's unusual to see on one of the flagship stations for the Cowboys where they're talking about how unbearable they are to watch. But you got to really take that report and put it down here for the Texans, because the Cowboys took care of business, though.
They did, but like, to add insult to injury, the Cowboys, as far as like ratings, they're such a polarizing figure as far as that team is concerned. They had a flex scheduled game this past Sunday. No, it was next Sunday. It's already been flexed out of the 7 p.m. slot because they're so dreadfully bad this year that they'd rather put another team there in that flex spot. So that just shows you the state of the Cowboys right now in 2020.
Well, they were playing like, what, 4th string quarterbacks, but it wasn't as bad as that one team that had to use a wide receiver who hadn't played quarterback since he was in high school. And I think he went like 1 for 15 in passing. Yeah. That was painful.
The Broncos, yeah, he had more. It was the first time in NFL history that a quarterback had more interceptions than completions in the game.
Wow. Poor guy. I mean, being thrown out in that, you hadn't played since high school. He was zipping that ball around. He just wasn't hitting anybody. But I was watching him. Hey, it was pretty impressive looking at the guy, you know, because I watched the highlights and I'm like, hey, he knows he's pretty good. He knows, oh, what? There goes the ball, you know, past the receiver. So he was zipping the ball around. He just wasn't hitting receivers.
You know what, though? I want to say poor guy, Todd, but he got moved to the active roster. He probably made $60,000 for that one start. So
Hey,
He'll be
but
fine.
to be thrown in that type of position, you're a receiver. You've always played receiver. You haven't taken a snap since high school, and you're thrown in that. So, you got to give him kudos for at least stepping up when the team needed him. So, you got any picks for this weekend, Frank?
Yeah, so college football, this is what, championship week. So a lot of the conference championship games are this weekend. And I'm not going to say they're going to win, but Ohio State plays Northwestern.
Oh, yeah.
Big Ten championship. And Northwestern has a great team this year. I'm not going to say they're going to win, but the spread is 21 for Ohio State. I think Ohio State if Ohio State wins, it won't be no more than by a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think Northwestern is going to give them a run for their money.
Well, you know who my pick is? Guess who? The Texans are playing the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. That just got train wreck written all over it, doesn't it?
Well, you know what, though? They should have won 2 weeks ago when they played them early.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Didn't happen, And anytime T.Y. Hilton's on the field, I got it. Texans ain't going to do anything with him. That guy puts up more. Sometimes he'll put up more receiving yards, not than than our former quarterbacks, not Deshaun. But that guy's got the Texans' name all over him. He knows he's got their number.
You know what's funny, Tyler? I play fantasy football, so I follow this fantasy football podcast. And T.Y. going into the season, he hadn't scored a touchdown since Andrew Luck threw him a touchdown pass, which was over a year and a half ago. They said if you replicate T.Y. Hilton's stats from that Houston game a couple weeks ago for 16 games, he will have 1,500 yards and 21 touchdowns for the season.
Yeah, I mean, and he'll go out and say, you know what, I'm going to beat you and I'm going to score 3 touchdowns. And he does. I think he's totally got their number and got him totally intimidated. And I'm sorry, J.J. Watt just can't be all over the field. The man is just one man. He can't do it all.
No, he can. And Houston's going to have some big financial decisions for the salary cap come this May, this March about J.J. Watt. I mean, I know he's Mr. Texan. He's a Hall of Famer, great talent, but if you're JJ, man, you have to really reconsider, do you want to play for a championship? If so, it might be that time to move on.
Yeah, they just don't know what they're going to get out of him. It's the salary cap thing that'll hit him because they certainly aren't going to get any trade value at his age and unfortunately his injury over the last several years. Frank, always good to see you. You're going to be back, on Friday?
Yes, sir, on Friday.
All right. Have a good week. We will check with you on Friday. And thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. Tomorrow, we're going to have Dr. Mudassir Siddiqui. He's the president of HCC Central College. He'll talk about the Secure Your Seat campaign. We mentioned it earlier in the show, and we'll hear more about it tomorrow. And we'll be joined by a couple of people who have vowed to protect and serve. That's right. We will have a couple of soon-to-be graduates from our academy, the HCC Police Academy of the Public Safety Center of Excellence. All that and more tomorrow and Up to the Minute. Thanks for being here today. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.